Today I'm going to be going over the revamped military movement system that I'm going to be updating everyone with, and I want a video to kind of accommodate it. The original system had each kingdom being able to move freely on the map, and then as long as you could see the other military units, they would all be revealed. But that would just be way too much of me going into each kingdom's map and moving around so many different military units every week, and that's just not going to happen. So what I've decided to do is make a couple of adjustments, and I'm going to give you the examples here today. One of such examples is that we'll just start from the updated rules and I'll read down it. Military units have designated hex movement speed. Every military unit, for the most part, has a movement of 5 unless it's a special military movement, so that's something you should note. And they can now only be placed and moved on your own hexes here. So, on a turn, this guy can move here, here, here if he wants. There's not really a whole lot of reason for him to do that, but he could. This is an example of him having there's three military units on this one hex because of the 3 in the little bubble. And let's say we're gonna demonstrate moving to your own cities, your own hexes, and then a allied city. So that's pretty easy. I can go here to here, and since that is only and you can go, for anyone wondering, you can go in the little taskbar and get the ruler. Make sure you start the ruler on the unit that you are. And we would go here, and it would show us that that is 3 hexes away. That's well within his movement range because they all have 5. So he could move here. All 3 could move there on a turn from your own place to your own place. That's legal movement on a turn. Now let's say this red kingdom here is an ally kingdom, and they have consented for our military units to move there. That is 7 hexes away. So, we would not be able to get there on one turn. We would have to get there in 2 turns. Obviously, because we have 5, which means we would only be about here, and then we'd have to continue. We will not place him on the map. This will not happen. We're not going to put him here. He'll just be considered en route to another kingdom. And then let's say this hex did get attacked. This would be the defenseless because the military unit would not be there. It would be en route. Now, if you wanted to get there in one turn, say this kingdom was going to get ward next hex or something, we'll go over that in a second, but if you wanted to get there in the same turn, you can spend 5 weaponry, and that is under the Between Cities movement. You can spend, or speeding up a unit, you can spend 5 weaponry and 5 adventuring gear per unit to double their speed. So that would come out to, that would come out to 15 weaponry and 15 adventuring gear for all 3 of these units, and then you could double their speed, getting there within the same turn. This should be noted, this action cannot be done. You cannot speed up movement of units that are going to war. Now we are going to talk about sending units into war right here. To war another kingdom, first figure out how many hexes the ward hex is away. So now let's imagine that we are trying to war this hex here. And last turn I made this movement, which they're not going to know about. They're not going to see this guy jump out here, then go here, then go here. It's just going to be quietly moved there in between my kingdoms. And then now I'm attempting to war him. And it's still 7 hexes away. That hasn't changed. So it is going to take me 2 turns to get there, and I cannot speed him up while warring. So what that means is that the other kingdom will be notified that I am heading their way to war. What they will not know is how many hexes, or excuse me, how many military units I have, 3, or which one I'm going to attack, which is this one. So they're panicking. They don't really know how many people are coming. They don't know where we're going to attack. It should be noted that if you are this red kingdom and you are the one panicking, there are 2 backup plans that you can do. Essentially, one backup plan is that there is a military skill. I need to find it really quick. It is called Allocate Forces. If you're informed of a war being waged on one of your hexes that is in a city, you can spend 30 KP plus 5 weaponries to attempt a military policy check, DC 50, in order to move any other military units towards and away your desired hex, as long as the military units are moved or within the city. So if I were to attack this, uh, and I show up on the day of, and I'm like, here I go, I'm here, and they were like, dang, we weren't expecting that. They could use allocate forces and send all of these guys here to defend. So that should be noted. It also should be noted that if this hex right here was, let's say, here, then I could surprise them on this round and attack. And in that scenario, they would still be able to allocate forces. The KP to do allocate forces would be taken from next round. That's one of the very few opportunities I will allow you to steal KP from your next round. That is a pretty good example. Oh, the other thing you can do if you're this kingdom and you are warned that another kingdom is heading your way to attack you. If you think you know who it is, what you can do is you can use the scout ability. And I am in the middle of updating the scout ability that is currently locked at 500 KP, total KP for exploration. But what you can and will be able to do here shortly is you will be able to look at just how many units, if you succeed the roll, you'll be able to look at just how many units are heading your way and where they are heading to. One small last thing is about moving through hexes that you do not have revealed to you. So for this example, if I'm moving from where I'm at to war this hex here, or even if I'm just trying to go to that kingdom and hang out with them, or maybe aid them, I am allowed to move from here to here uninhibited because I have these revealed to me, because they're not grayed out. But the following remaining hexes, here to here, will be, I will not be able to see through them. So therefore, these military units will have to make a check. And that check, the DC for that, can be found under moving military units through unrevealed lands. The check will always be 70 minus 5 per unrevealed hex. In this scenario, we just figured out it is 5 right there. So our DC would then be 70 minus 25. And so then our DC would be 45, but then again, make sure we add our modifiers for military. And then we would go up here, we would make a D100 roll, and we would get 76. That is above 45, and you make this roll once per military unit. So one of my military units died along the way. I have 2 remaining. Second one succeeded, got there safe because it's under 45. The last one got there safe because it's under 45, and we would have lost 1 unit. Would it have been easier just to reveal? Yes, but that's an extra 50 KP for discovery that you might not have wanted to place. So that is the updated movements for military units. I think it's a much more streamlined version of everything. And the only slight thing that I don't love about this, but we're going to have to take some hits, is that technically, if you were here and you wanted to attack right here, it would take you, let's see, how many? It would take you 11 hexes, which, if I didn't have this one colonized, that would be 3 turns. Now, okay, well, you're going to have, the other kingdom will have 3 turns to get ready for you to come attack, but in the in-game world, that would take 75 years for this hex to move all the way over here. So we'll just do some touching up of the lore afterwards, because we kind of just have to work with what we're given, and what we're given is a turn-based system. And so afterwards we'll come in and say, oh, well, the war technically took place 65 years before that, blah, 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 blah. We'll figure all that out. But this is the new system for military movement. Okay, let's get to Warren, shall we?